What's going on, world? Peace, love, Pogonas. Just wanted to do a real quick video, and I promise you guys I do mean a quick video. I know usually when I say that, the video somehow ends up being 30 minutes, but we're going to just hurry up and jump right into it. Like I said, I just want to make this real quick. Okay, so what I have here are Death's Head Roaches. B.Craniifer, Repashy, aka Death's Head Roaches. Okay, so the only reason I'm even going through this colony doing this video is because I actually just made about 60 of these babies available, not the adults that you see pictured here, but actually some of the nymphs. I made 5 colonies of 12 nymphs, 60 nymphs in total available, and they sold out almost instantaneously. Okay, I didn't expect them to be so popular. I noticed that when I posted, when I posted on my Instagram, letting people know that they were going to become available, I got a lot of questions and you know, just a lot of interest in them. So I wanted to do this real quick video just to tell you guys a little bit about them. I'll probably do a more detailed video about them later on. Maybe not. We'll see. But like I said, I just want to do a real quick video. Got my assistant with me, Demi Cherie, a.k.a. the Pogona Princess. And as you see, we have now purchased her a new kid-sized respirator. All right? As I told you guys, when dealing with roaches, mice, you know, other debris-causing or allergy or irritant, you know, types of things, you want to have a respirator. It's also good to have gloves in some cases. So if you watched our last video when we were sorting through 10,000 roaches, she ended up having to have my mask because it was a defect with her mask. So me and her mom just decided to go ahead and search for a actual small kid's mask, and voila, this is what we found. Okay, if you guys are interested, and they also make these in adult sizes. Now that I've seen hers and it looks so cool, I'll probably be ordering one for myself. But if you guys are interested in purchasing one for you or your child, I'll include a link in the description on, you know, where you can purchase it. And of course, it'll be an affiliate link, so any purchases made through that link will benefit the channel, and we always appreciate you guys' support. Now, back to this video before this turns into 20-30 minutes. Like I said, we have the B.Craniifer, Repashy, aka Death's Head Roaches, and tell you a little bit about these guys. Now, as you can see, these guys have a very, very distinct pronotum marking. That would be, the pronotum would be the little shield right here above their head, and it looks like a jack-o'-lantern. This marking or pattern is consistent throughout all of the adults, as you can see, at least when dealing with true Repashy or true Death's Head roaches. That jack-o'-lantern pattern will be consistent throughout all of the adults. Okay, they don't get that until they become adults. As you can see, there's some nymphs right here, and they don't have the pronotum marking. I'm sorry. You can see it kind of coming through, but it's nowhere near anything like it is on the adults. Okay. They also have the jet black wings. Absolutely love the way they look. Have a very intimidating look. That all black wings, dark black legs with the jack-o'-lantern pronotum marking just makes them beautiful to look at. Okay. Now, I keep these kind of as pet roaches, to be honest with you. I don't really feed these off too often. 1, because they're so expensive, but number 2, because they're very, very hard to come across. They're very rare, and the most I'll usually do with these is make these available to others to start their own colony. But these can be used as a feeder species or as a feeder roach. Okay. However, I don't really recommend feeding the adults off, because if you look very closely, you can see they have spiky legs, and they're a lot bigger than your dubia roach or discoid roach, which is the typical feeder roaches. This is a Florida legal species like discoid roaches, But then, like I said, there are some subtle differences between them, and they're often confused or mistaken as the discoid roach or the Peruvian cave roach. But like I said earlier, the way to distinguish these guys apart from those other roaches is they have the jet black wings and that very distinct pronotum marking. Now, as nymphs, I would have a very, very hard time telling these apart from discoids or Peruvians because the nymphs really all look the same to me. I'm pretty sure there's some very, very subtle differences, but, you know, got to brush up on my knowledge and double check that for you. Anyway, so like I said, let's just talk a little bit about them as a feeder roach, or just talk about them in general, really. They're a lot larger than your dubia roach, and I actually have some dubia here, so I'll compare size for you in 1 second. And the nymphs are a lot larger than dubia nymphs. As adults, they have these big wings, spiky legs. So for your typical bearded dragon, these might not be the best feeder. But for larger bearded dragons, and definitely for larger insectivores, like for example a tegu or certain monitor lizards, these will make excellent feeders. Okay, what I do is if I am going to feed it to a bearded dragon, is I usually just feed off the nymphs. I usually just feed off the nymphs because the nymphs are very soft-bodied, and the spiking on the legs isn't so prominent. I mean, and like I said, even in the case of the adults, I really don't worry about it too much because I'm pretty sure in the wild, bearded dragons deal with prey that's a lot more dangerous than death's head roaches, okay? But also, as a feeder roach, another significant difference is, in comparison to dubia, these guys do not produce nearly as fast, which can be a con. A pro would be the fact that, like I said, the nymphs can be a lot bigger and a lot meatier, okay? So this is a nymph here. Getting him to stay still would be just about impossible right now. And they're all kind of hiding away because I was just going through this colony picking out nymphs to sell, but try to give you an example of these fat nymphs they have. There we go.
Do you think you could just hold this soft?
Well, they're hard to hold because they're scared. You know what I mean? They don't know what's going on. They're like, why are you grabbing me out of the dirt? Okay. And speaking of dirt, that would be another difference to your typical feeder roach, such as the discoid or pilot or dubia roach. Death's head roaches, the nymphs prefer a substrate to burrow in. Okay. Now, for some of you, keeping a roach with a substrate can become kind of annoying. As you see, there's nymphs all in this dirt right here. All right, just put my hand in, I got nymphs crawling all on my hand. Okay, for me personally, it's really not that big of a deal. It's pretty easy to deal with, and it also can depend on what kind of substrate you use. I find that using a looser substrate makes them a little easier to sift out and separate from the substrate. But, you know, like I said, it's really not a big problem to me, but for some people, this can be, you know, a big deal. As far as the care of them, outside of the substrate, it's pretty much the same as your dubia or discoid roach. You want to keep egg crates in there for them to climb on. You want to keep polymer gel crystals in order to produce some humidity. And the diet is pretty much the same. You know what I mean? Lots of fruit, vegetation. These guys do have a more voracious appetite than your dubia roach. I won't say they have a more voracious appetite than discoids because my discoids seem to always be hungry. But they definitely eat a lot more than your dubia roach. And that could be due to the size. I'm not sure. But like I said, so comparing differences, obviously there's the physical appearance, you know what I mean? Those black wings, that beautiful pronotum marking, the fact that they're larger, have the spiked legs. Then there's the reproductive rate. They don't reproduce as fast as dubia roaches. And then also as far as their care and keeping them, like I said, the nymphs prefer a substrate. I've never raised these guys without a substrate. I've never had a colony of these guys that wasn't on a substrate. Your substrate doesn't have to be as thick as mine, but, you know, it usually gets pretty thick in here. It usually gets a lot. I usually have a lot of nymphs, so I like to keep a nice thick substrate for them to all be comfortable. And once again, this is a Florida legal species. As you can see, this one right here is passing an egg casing. Oh, one thing I do want to talk about before I end this video, and this will be the last thing that I talk about. As you can see, all the adults have the wings and that exact pronotum marking. So how can I tell my males from my females, right? They don't have the sexual dimorphism that dubia roaches have, which is, this is also similar to discoid roaches. Discoid roaches don't have that sexual dimorphism either. So I'm going to show you right quick And I'll probably do another short video just on this, on how to tell them apart. Now, if you look, let me get a better grip.
Hold the wings, Dad.
I got it, baby. I got it. If you look very closely, let me focus in here for you guys. 1 second.
Why are you doing that?
Okay, now if you look, this is a female, and you can tell by the basically the abdomen at the bottom. There's just one big division, okay? And the male, I'll show you a male. And oh, also the females are generally wider and fatter than the males. The males are generally smaller and thinner. And this, and it was easy for me because, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. But this is a male. And if you look at the bottom, it has a lot more divisions. See, it's divided at the bottom right there, that little divide. I'll try to take a picture and circle it and show you guys and include that in the video. And like I said, maybe I'll just do a video strictly on how to sex your non-sexually dimorphic roaches like this guy, like these guys. But yeah, so like I said, as far as sorting or, you know, trying to get that right male to female ratio, you can basically tell by the abdomen, and also the male and females. The females are a lot larger and the males are generally a lot skinnier and a little bit smaller than your females, okay? So, yep, like I said, just wanted to show you guys these. Like I said, I had just recently made some available on the website. I'll include a link in the description to that as well. They are actually all sold out now. But if you want to check, because I make them available from time to time. I make them available really. Like I said, these are really, really hard to find. It's a very, very hard to find species. A lot of people will sell other species that are mistaken as them, such as the discoids, which we just talked about. And I'll show you discoids right quick. These are discoids. Very obvious difference. Discoids have those brown wings. They don't have that distinct pronotum marking. They're a lot smaller. Let's just hold one over here just to hold it against. But you see, the discoids have the spike legs too. So spike legs really aren't a big issue as far as you feeding them off. But let's just give you an example. Of the size difference here. Well, he doesn't want to cooperate, but see how much smaller that is? It's a lot smaller. The discoids always have that golden pronotum, and the markings are usually just random. Sometimes they're just all black pronotum markings. Sometimes they'll have a little pattern, but usually they're pretty much the same. And I'll also show you a dubia roach right quick, because I have my dubia colony right here. Hold on, baby. So, yeah. And this is a female. As you know, the females are usually larger than the males of the dubia. And I'm holding this next to a male here. And they're about the same size. So if I was to hold this next to a female death's head, it'd be a very significant difference. So like I said, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Try to make it quick for you. Probably still went on a little bit longer than I wanted to. And I probably could keep going if I wanted to. But like I said, just wanted to show you guys an interesting and exotic roach, the death heads roach. Absolutely love these guys. If you're looking for them, you can find them on the website from time to time. You know, just check in here and there and see if they're available. I'll include a link in the description. And in the meantime, in between time, peace, love, Pogonas. All right, and it wouldn't be right if I didn't feed off at least one for you guys. This right here is a leatherback Wero female. That's a wit, blit, and zero combined. Isn't she a beauty? And I'm just going to show you her eating a death's head roach. Here on it. And like I said, there's nothing to that. We can handle it. I don't make these a regular treat because, like I said, they're too expensive. But they love it when they do get them. Isn't that right? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Here's your pretty baby. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And in the meantime, in between time, peace, love, Pogonas. If you haven't already, be sure to check out our online store. We just got the PLP, Peace, Love, Pogonas t-shirts that you guys always see me wearing in stock. So go on the online store and order yours today. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, and hit that notification button, all right?